The law of attraction to me starts with two things: energy and gratitude. Gratitude is grounding, is what am I thankful for? What can I be thankful for? But when you're in a negative place, you're not thinking about all the good that you have, right? So when you start to change your energy, thoughts, your vibration, you start with gratitude. That to me is the core and the grounding of the law of attraction. Because how can you get more if you're not grateful for what you have right now?
We are all magnets, and we attract what we think about, and we attract what we say. Once you understand that, and if you accept that premise, your whole life can change. This podcast is for the rebels,
The misfits, the dreamers.
who really are sick of living on autopilot.
Every week, we strip away the excuses, we break the rules, we give you bold, actionable strategies.
So you can crush your habits that hold you back,
Ditch the job you hate.
build a life that you actually want to wake up to.
No fluff,
No permission slips,
just real talk, proven tools, and a healthy dose of rebellion.
to help you break free and rise higher and own your next chapter.
This isn't just a podcast, it's an escape plan.
If you are sick of just following status quo, you have just found your people. Welcome to another episode of the 3 Seconds of Guts. I'm so excited that you're here. Melissa and I are so prepared to talk about some awesome things. Some people might feel like it's a little kind of weird, kind of esoteric, like woo-hoo-hoo, but it's solid stuff that we actually have proof of. Mel, are you excited?
I'm so excited. This could be my favorite episode because this is one that speaks to us. We live and breathe every single day and has changed our life. Probably this one tip we're going to share for you today has changed my life. And Tom, I'd probably say yours as well, in the most substantial way. So I can't wait to share it. So, Tom, excited to be here with you.
Absolutely. So the big thing is, like, some people call it the law of attraction. Um, I think a lot of people were introduced to the law of attraction like 10 years ago by Rhonda Burns, who wrote the book The Secret, which became a movie. Oh, look at that.
Yes, I have a very used copy here.
Yeah. Um, and it was really a good start for a lot of people, but you also need to go a little bit deeper than the things that were explained in that book. And we'll talk about that in regard to, full visualization and all of that. But the thing is that it works.
It does work all day long. And we can share stories. I can share stories from when I was a kid and didn't even know what the law of attraction is or was, to today and everything in between. So, another book I just pulled out real quick, my two books that I think are really impactful. And The Secret impacted my life so much because it was a different spin, it was a little bit more modern, but Tom and I and our founder, Jeff Elgin, which hopefully will be on our podcast soon, um, Think and Grow Rich. Would you say this would be one of the beginning pieces of the law of attraction or great books to read?
I am looking away because I have it sitting here somewhere. Yes, I actually have the hard copy version, old school, with all sorts of notes and dog-eared pages, for sure. I always say that next to the Bible, it's like the most important book you could read.
The key to this book, this is an old book. And I mean, it still talks about what steel and railroads and whatnot, but it says to think and grow rich, right? Doesn't say, and a friend of ours, Kim Daly, says this all the time. She says, doesn't say do and grow rich. It says think and grow rich. So let's start at the beginning. Talk to me about what is the law of attraction? And then let's talk through what are the maybe 3 or 4 main points that you need to focus on to make it impactful. And then we'll share some stories, some real life stories of things that have changed our life.
Well, explaining the law of attraction is like explaining gravity. It's there, it's there, but you really can't like explain it unless you're some kind of mathematician and what is the Planck Planck scale of physics. And so for me, we are all magnets, and we attract what we think about, and we attract what we say. Once you understand that, and if you accept that premise, your whole life can change for the better or for the worse if you continue to think crazy thoughts. And it's so crazy because I just had this conversation with my mom. My mom's 84, and she was expecting a rebate check in the mail, and it was like 2 weeks she's waiting, and she goes, "Somebody stole it." I'm like, "Why do you go negative? Maybe, it's stuck in a mailbox somewhere, and lo and behold, of course, it showed up 4 days later. Nobody stole it. But she said, so I got it from her. Like, I feel like that myself, like I always go negative instead of going positive. But I just heard Dr. Wayne Dyer in a video I was watching last night. He said, "Imagine if you had no excuses and no negative thoughts. What would your life look like?"
What oh man, I love Dr. Wayne Dyer. I mean, oh, just so good. So the key to law of attraction, as Tom was saying, is that it's a law. It's like the law of gravity, right? You don't know it's there unless you don't have it and you're floating all around the room, but it's a law, but it's not something that we think about every single day. But like attracts like. What you think about, what you put out into the world is what you're going to get back. And it's what you think about, but it's also who you are becoming. The vibration, the frequency, the energy, the thoughts, all of it is so important, and what you put out there is what you get back. So when you go negative, you know, things that if you put negative out there, you're going to get negative back. If you think positive, if you instill that of expecting good things, that's what you're going to get back to you. So there's a ton of other books, and Tom's even more well read than I am about this, but the law of attraction, in my opinion, has a couple key points.
One thing that what comes to mind for me is the things that I struggle with, right? And it's something that Mike Dooley, who, if you ever subscribe to Messages from the Universe, he'll say it's the cursed hows. Like, I make $90,000 a year. How am I ever going to be a millionaire? How is that going to happen? And if you ask that question, it's never going to happen. Instead of saying, I don't know how it's going to happen, but it's going to happen,
What was the
it's
word
that
you used? The what house?
curse, cursed house.
Cursed. Okay. That's New York speak. Sorry. Cursed.
it- the cursed house. And if you concentrate on that, then you're just going to be stuck in this spiral of not really changing anything. You have to be, as you said, in receivership. You have to say, I'm open to receiving everything the universe or God or whatever it is that you believe in has prepared for me. We're not here to struggle. We're here to help each other get to the next level.
Yeah.
And if you approach things like that, wonderful things will happen. So, what is your first rule like when you think about law of attraction?
The law of attraction to me starts with two things: energy and gratitude. And
Mhm.
both of these books will talk about gratitude, but gratitude is grounding, is what am I thankful for? What can I be thankful for? And we can be thankful for so many things, but when you're in a negative place, you're not thinking about all the good that you have, right? So when you start to change your energy, thoughts, your vibration, you start with gratitude. That to me is the core and the grounding of the law of attraction, because how can you get more if you're not grateful for what you have right now? And when you start to realize all the great things that you have, I mean, one of the things I've been doing for a few years is I write in a gratitude journal every night. Sometimes I'll write a paragraph, sometimes I'll write 10 things. The things that I'm grateful for, they tend to not be huge things. There's recurring themes, right? And as Tom and I living in Florida, we've gone through some crazy hurricanes. I noticed that some of the things are electricity. I and my water comes up a lot, which is a very funny one for me. Like, I have cold drinks because if you've been to a hurricane, you don't have ice. My family, they're tucked into bed, safe and sound tonight. We have fresh water, we have clean air, fresh food in the fridge. Like, once you start realizing, gosh, my heart beats all the time. I have 2 arms and 2 legs. Your whole energy of vibration, because when you're grateful for what you have, you're going to start to attract more. So gratitude to me and energy very much go together.
Absolutely. So well said. And I was going to ask you, I was going to kind of tongue in cheek ask you if you do a gratitude journal. Oh, you do.
Do
And I,
you?
well, and it was funny because at first it was like the grandiose things. Oh, thank you for this wonderful car and thank you for this wonderful whatever. Now it's like getting down to thank you for the pictures on my wall. Like so basic. Thank you for heat and air conditioning and then when you think about so many people on this planet that don't have anything like that.
Clean clothes, warm
Clean.
socks, shoes without holes in them. I mean, when we start realizing how much we have in our lives, you get this overwhelming sense of gratefulness and gratitude where if you just focus into that feeling, how good does that feel? And one of the things I was watching, I mean, I love Tony Robbins. If you know anything about me, you know I am a huge fan. I just adore him. He says you can't feel the 2 things that will mess up your life, anger and fear. And you can't feel either of those if you're feeling gratitude. So that's going to be the first thing is changing your energy, finding gratitude.
Yep. You can't they can't live together. Uh, Fear and gratitude. And so the gratitude notion that I have is think about the universe or whatever it is that you believe in again as your parent. So if your parent gives you, I don't know, a bicycle for your birthday and you're not grateful for it, do you think you're going to get another nice present at your next birthday? I mean, right? I mean, it's as simple as that. So that's a good way to exemplify being grateful for the little things in your life and the more. And so think about that. So now you're a parent and you give this really nice present to your kid, and your kid is blown away and so grateful and thanks you every day for the next 2 weeks. What are you going to do? You're going to get him some more cool stuff. And that's what it's all about. It's that part of it.
Yes.
And also kind of visualizing is the next thing.
It's exactly what I was going to say.
Oh, good. So we're on
Yeah.
the same page as per usual.
Surprise.
So how do you define visualization, or how do you even do it?
So let's think back to being a kid again and using our imagination. And when you want something, you imagine it, but you don't just think it, you feel it. You see the details of it. So let's pretend you want a new bike, right? Let's just use that. I love that example. You're not thinking about the bike so much as you are riding the bike, the feeling of riding the bike, right? What color is the bike? How is the wind in your hair? And I'm riding to my friends' houses and I'm free and I've got a big bike and it's not a little kid bike. And, you start to imagine. If you want to take visualization to its core, you use your imagination and you do it with all your senses. You feel it, you see it, the excitement. You're living and breathing it now, today. You're feeling it like you have it. I have goosebumps now. Because when you start to get into the emotional pieces of it, that's when the magic happens.
Right? It's so true. And then there's the expectation part and the
Ooh,
relief of that.
talk
Right?
about that.
So you y- you want to be very specific, but you don't want to be attached to the outcome.
The how,
So
right? Not how am I going to get the bike, but
y- yep, I just know it's coming because I trust in my parent, or I trust in my God. I trust in my universe. I trust in Allah, whatever it is that you believe in. And it's going to come because it can't not. It's the way the universe works. It's the law. It's absolutely amazing. And I think oh my God, I have so much to say. My head is like spinning.
Yeah,
Um,
their favorite topic by far, like, just
yeah,
so near and dear.
it. I could just tell you, like, I just gotta share the story because it's on my mind. I was traveling in Italy with Mike Dooley, who was in The Secret, was one of the teachers, and I think you know the story, Mel.
Yeah, I love
And
the story now.
and for Emily, the producer who's produced this whole thing, I'm going to send you a photo that I'm going to talk about in a minute, and then we're going to put it in this podcast. But we were in
Share
Italy
it
first
with
night.
media too, because we wanna share and show, like, this is really what happened.
This is so true. So it has really happened. So we're in Italy first night. We're in Venice, and there's like 20 people, and we're all on tour, and so we're having our first dinner. And Andy Dooley, Mike Dooley's brother, said, for fun, let's attract something, but not something that would be normal. Like if we saw it, we would know, like, holy cow, it happened. And so we all agreed on a balloon or balloons. And so I pictured, a guy walking with a monkey on the watered side with, playing this box thing with balloons. Like, I don't know why I pictured that. And people pictured all different things. So next day, we all gather, we're doing breakfast or whatever, and they're like, "You see balloons?" No, we don't see any balloons. No, next day, no balloons. Third day, no balloons. And so we forgot about it. Now we're on the seventh day of the trip and we're on this long bus ride to Rome. And it's like 4 hours and everybody's tired. It's the seventh day and we're like, ugh. And so everybody's kind of napping on the bus and we hit a pothole, an Italian pothole. So it's not as bad as an American pothole, but we hit this pothole and my head kind of bounces on the window. My eyes open. I look outside and there's balloons across the horizon. And I was like, oh my God. And people, I like start waking everybody up and people like crying. It's like, oh my God, I can't believe we manifested this. And I wake up Andy and he's like, yeah,
Oh,
it's the law. Like, why are you so surprised? Of course it happened. It didn't happen the first day. It didn't happen the second. It happened the seventh day when we weren't thinking about it anymore, which is a little piece of the law of attraction. You can't be focused on something all the time because that sometimes clogs up the universe's roadway to you.
yes.
So you just have to know that it's coming and let it go. And I also was starting to talk about specifics. So I have a picture that I took from the bus. You can actually see my reflection in the window of the bus with the balloons out on the horizon. So you'll see that on the podcast page. But it's just one of the most amazing things that ever happened in my life because I saw proof of it for something that I didn't really want. Who cares about balloons? But it's just that we manifested it. But the
Ma
other thing is that
Yeah,
one other thing is that we have to be very specific about what we're looking for. Like you were talking about the color bike, the kind of bike. Um, because if we happen to go outside and there's a bike, an old rusted, beat up bike on the lawn, that probably wasn't from the universe. It was
it's
just
not gonna feel as good. When you tell the balloon story, a couple things that come to me is that there was a doubt. You guys didn't doubt. Even though it didn't happen immediately, you weren't saying, "Well, stupid balloon thing, right? They're not gonna come." And you guys didn't say the how. How are we gonna find balloons on a train and blah, 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 right? Because that's not our job. Our job is to feel it and visualize, believe it, and then let it go. Because the way that it's going to happen is not in our control. Now, what will happen, as you say, like the specifics, right? Having the order and the clarity, I think, are key parts, but also knowing that it's not our job to know the how. However, we will have these thoughts. Let's pretend you're manifesting whatever, $1,000. I want to make $1,000, whatnot. You will have these inspired ideas when you get quiet and you let your imagination take place. Like if you've ever done that, I know for me, getting quiet can be hard. But when you do, then all of a sudden you're in the shower. That's where I have my inspired ideas, right? Oh, I should do this. This is a great idea. That is a sign. It's not just think it, there is action attached to it, but it's usually that it feels good. It's inspired action.
Feeling good is really the main thing, but also another little piece of it as you're kind of dancing around this idea, which is called faith. You'd have faith that it's going to work. There's no doubt. There's
Yes.
actually a biblical scripture, Matthew um, 17:20, that says, if you have the faith of a mustard seed, like one of the smallest seeds in existence, the faith of a mustard seed, you could move mountains. And I actually named my LLC Mustard Seed Incorporated for that reason.
Oh, I love that.
If you have the faith of a mustard seed, you could move mountains. And if you have the faith that whatever you want to attract, good health, a great spouse, a great house, a great dog, I mean, whatever it is, just know that it's coming and you got to have that faith. What the world teaches us, I'll see it, then I'll believe it, but you have to believe it and then you'll see it.
One of my favorite changes of a saying. And that brings up the feeling good. And I wrote down joy because when you feel good, when you feel grateful, it starts with gratitude. You're going to feel good for what you have. You're going to feel good. You're going to feel happy. You're going to feel joyful. The feeling of that is important because we don't get what we want, but we do get who we are and what we believe. And that is an important piece of it. The more you believe you're worth it, the more excited you are for just waking up and having coffee and your family and the little things in life, the more you start to change your energy. And that, as you give out, is also what you will receive.
I drink coffee, not coffee.
Right. There's two different drinks here.
Yeah, right. And so, um, the word joy, like, do you ever anybody ever say, "Oh, I hope you enjoy your trip," right? It's break down the word. It's being in joy. You're choosing, you could choose to have joy. You could choose to have, you know, whatever, disgruntled, depression. It's a
Yeah.
choice.
It is a choice. And sometimes we don't realize it's a choice because if we've been taught negativity to always expect the worst, it's kind of ingrained. And some of this feels weird and it feels, I've been called Pollyanna before, like, oh, Melissa, you're so Pollyanna. Well, I'm sorry. But if you have a choice, are you going to think positive or negative? Go with positive. Feel good first. Because when
So my
you do that, the good keeps coming.
so my son Anthony, who and my daughter, they were having a conversation, and my son Anthony blurts out, Everything happens for the good for me. Everything happens for me in the good." And
Go
my
in.
daughter's like, "What are you talking about? That's like so stupid," or whatever. We then get in the car because he wanted to get a car wash. So we we go to the drive through at Starbucks, and the lady hands him a drink and says, "Hey, somebody ordered the wrong drink. I'm giving you this for free." He's like, "Yeah, I always get things for free because everything always goes my way." And then we get to uh, the car wash, and the cashier said, "Oh my God, I don't have any change. Just go for free." And so
All together. This all happened right.
we all had within an hour. And then to top it all off, he got a job offer right after that. And he's like, "Everything goes my way. I just know that it does." And my daughter's like, "Oh my God, I can't believe you." It's because she doesn't buy into it. Not then. Now she does.
No, she does.
Um,
She's a believer. And the same is if you wake up and I think in The Secret she talks about you wake up and you stub a toe or you stub your toe and something else happens and you go, oh, it's gonna be one of those days. And all this bad stuff always happens to me. It's like, watch what you say, watch what you believe. And yes, we're going to have negative tendencies. You might think a bad thought or say a bad word. It's the feeling though. If you see it, stop it. Replace it with something good. Look around you and find something to be grateful for. That's the grounding. Because I guarantee you the law of attraction has changed my life in so many ways. And on our next episode, since we're kind of running out of time, we'll talk more about some real life stories that have changed our life. Simple little things of how you can use the law of attraction, how we've used them, because it's just so life changing.
about just one story quick. Yeah, you do one.
Okay. Oh, I have a ball back here and I'll show this to you real quick. So, I like baseball and I like the Yankees. So Tom knows this about me. Grew up going to Yankee games. So I lived in Denver. This was in 2002. The Rockies had not played the Yankees before. And so it was a big deal. And I was so excited. I was living in Denver. I get to see the Yankees. We're going to the game. We got tickets and we have two friends with us. And all before the game, I kept saying, I'm catching a fly ball. I'm catching a fly ball tonight. And they're all like, stop saying that. First off, you don't have a glove. Second of all, you don't play baseball. And what are you talking about? Like, people don't just catch fly balls. And I was in it. I was believing it. I was in it. And I talked it all night. I just kept saying, so I kept doing, come on, baby. Fly ball. I'm catching a fly ball. Fast forward. We are sitting at, gosh, it had to be, is it third? No, it's probably the first. We were near first base. And I don't even know all the technical terms. So forgive me here, but they hit a ball and it goes flying. Now it's about to come to me and I'm starting to get what I thought I was going to get. And I kind of freak out. Well, it hits the guy a few rows in front of me. He goes to grab it. It flies off of his hands. I reach up and catch it.
I
And
never.
I have a clean catch from June 18, 2002, Rockies versus Yankees. They had a whole thing. I got a pin. I was on the thing. They gave me the ball because I didn't catch it with a glove. That's called a clean catch. I caught it with my bare hands. Now, granted, somebody was looking out for me because I would have broken both of my hands if I would have caught this ball, but it hit somebody else and I caught it. And there is my law of attraction
Wow.
story.
I never knew that story. That's
No,
amazing. That is so cool. Well, this is great. We got so much more to talk about. So thank you so much for tuning in and listening to our law of attraction stories. We got more coming on the next episode. But Mel, thank you. I'm so grateful for you.
I'm so grateful for you, for all of you guys, for listening, supporting us, telling your friends. Please continue, spread the word, like, subscribe. We want to hear from you guys and give you more of what you want. But thank you so much for being a part of our podcast.